Now to the second of our stories on animal welfare, the politics and policies of animal shelters. Victoria's pounds destroy thousands of healthy dogs and cats each year, and they've become the target of animal activists. Now, a group of those activists has taken control of a big shelter where it's challenging the old school. Cheryl Hall reports.
It's Victoria's third biggest animal shelter, and it's undergone a radical change in the last few months.
To get the better chances for the dogs, we do a temperament test if they're suitable for rehoming. Put it on the website so at least people that are out of Geelong will encourage them to come for the drive to have a look at this dog.
3 months ago, at the shelter's AGM, 3 new board members were elected, including animal activist Mike Bailey. The new board immediately introduced a no-kill policy, a program that started in the US and aims to end the killing of healthy, rehomable animals.
There was some resistance from some of the old school board members. I think the pressure from the public led them to unanimously endorse it. There had been local Geelong residents who had been campaigning, speaking with council as well as the media, to draw attention to the high kill rate.
Joyce Doherty was one of those campaigners. She's even received a death threat. But she's gone from protester to board member in 10 months.
The thought of being on the board was not something that I had even hoped for. When I went to Gauze to offer my services just to walk the dogs, which is how it all began, I was actually almost pushed out the office and told that they don't deal with volunteers, they don't work with foster carers, rescue groups, and their animals were not online. It became very apparent very quickly that they weren't pro-welfare, they were actually working more in a waste management style.
Last year there were also unproved allegations of cruelty at the Geelong shelter, provoked by these videos posted on YouTube.
I watched all of the videos that were posted on YouTube, and I must say that after watching one in particular, I lay awake until about 6 a.m. However, on asking veterinary practitioners if they could point out what would be breaches of laws of the Cruelty Act or of other laws, I was unable to find any professional who would specifically say that was breaking a law.
Boy.
Those practices are now banned at the shelter, but the real achievement is the decrease in the number of dogs being destroyed.
Of the 325 dogs that came into Gauze in December, only 2.2% were put to sleep. Yeah. So that's a pretty good, that means we've done something with the other 97.8%.
That's more than I expected. I believe that we're the first large shelter implementing reform and going from being high kill to no kill.
Mike Bailey is well known to Victoria's biggest animal shelters for his blog, which has consistently pointed out how many dogs and cats are being put down at the Lost Dogs Home and Victoria's Cat Protection Society. It's not made him popular among some long-time animal welfare leaders. The Lost Dogs Home's Graham Smith last year.
They are cyber bullies.
I got a bit frustrated with them refusing to take advice from outsiders and realised that the only way that I could implement these changes would be to take over a shelter.
The Lost Dogs Home has in past years killed more than 30% of dogs it takes in. This week, Graham Smith declined to comment on the Geelong figures, but the RSPCA welcomed them.
I would congratulate him. The situation as we understand it at that facility was less than ideal. Mike has been a very vocal activist, and he has been willing to actually roll his sleeves up and get his hands dirty.
Would the RSPCA introduce a no-kill policy?
We don't like to put labels on the work that we do. We strive always to reduce our euthanasia rate, and we see the change in our statistics.
While the shelter is claiming success for dogs, it can't say the same about cats.
We've been really lucky. We've adopted 2 today. So that means another 2 can come out, which is really good. So,
but this is the only the tip of the iceberg,
that's
isn't
right.
it?
This is the good side of it all. The harsh side is seeing back a house of how inundated we are.
Out of 294 cats taken in the last month, only 124 found new homes, 108 were euthanised.
It can get overwhelming. Out there's another whole room like this that's triple the amount of cats in there.
Belinda Russo is the shelter's new manager. She says the shelter is now spending far more money on treating animals that may in the past have been put down.
This is a difficult case. This is when people don't fit collars properly on their cat. So she's a lot of work.
But there's little that can be done for about 30% of the cats, which are wild.
This is a trapped feral that's come in. So she's pretty worried, pretty frightened. This is the bit that upsets me because the chances of rehoming this cat is very, very hard. I can't see why it couldn't be a barn cat.
Belinda Russo describes the way the shelter was run as old school, and she says she wants every animal to have a chance.
He's an old dog, 10 years old. Every old dog deserves to be rehomed, I think. You know, they're old souls and I think we owe it to them. At the beginning I found it very hard, but I truly believe there's a home for every animal. It's just finding the right home.
Ideally, we'd like to set the benchmark in animal welfare in Victoria, and we'd like to be seen as a pound that others can aspire to be and also learn from.
Mike Bailey is not crowing about his early success yet. He's sceptical the figures will stay so good. But he has a letter from the state government that says it's watching, and he believes the revolution in animal welfare has begun.
Geelong is, I guess, a little part of the Arab Spring. It's the public saying we're not happy anymore, and leadership who had been there in place for decades just walking away.
Cheryl Hall with that report.